Alright, now we're being stupid. Yeah, it's slightly ridiculous. Alright, as you can see there, we're going to end up with the S10 on some jack stands, but before that, I want to see what we ended up getting as far as those V8 engines are concerned, and I need to get that trailer cleared off and get it out of the garage to make room for the S10. So let's do that real quick, and then we'll be back. First things first, fuel pump pusher on still. It is indeed a 4.0 bore. So yeah, that should be a standard bore block. Alright, so that's a standard bore engine block. That's great, because they just gave me that block for free because it was sitting around. They had no intention of using it. It's the block that has the 010 and the 020 under the timing cover cast into the block. There's a lot of debate online as to whether that makes it a high nickel block or not. I don't really care one way or the other. They're all decent for a certain number of horsepower, and I don't plan on building any 1,000 horsepower small block off of that. So it should be just fine. So I'm pretty happy with that. But I'm just glad to have a good buildable core. So we'll stick that engine in the corner of the garage and move on to the next one. Okay, so an interesting thing about these target motors, since these were replacement engines, they have dipsticks on both sides, or provisions for the dipstick on both sides. So we've got a dipstick boss there with a dipstick in it. And if we go over to the driver's side, there's another dipstick going into another dipstick boss. Oh, up here. Sorry. The reason they did that is because at a certain point in time, I don't know the years, you can Google it if it's really that important, or I'll Google it and stick it up here somewhere. They switched from, I believe it was originally on the driver's side, and then at some point in right around 1970 or so, like I said, I'll look it up, they switched to the passenger side. So this engine was designed in a way that it could accommodate either setup, so they didn't have to have two different replacement engines. All right, I think in the interest of making things a little lighter, I'm going to take some parts off of that. Let's see. I'm going to pop this off there without destroying anything. There we go. Alright, it's looks like a motor. Well, an engine, not a motor. Anyway. Oh man! This is why you don't use too much silicone. Let me drag out the camera and get a shot of this. Alright, this is what happens when you use too much silicone. You've got all this in your water port, and that could have come loose at some point and gone through the water pump. Same on this side. That could have gone into the engine at some point. Alright, this thing came with an Edelbrock. So you can see written there, Torquer 2. You can kind of see upside down there. It's, like I said, from everything I've heard, these are terrible intakes and don't work very well. And if I had to guess why, I would guess it's because it's just so flat right there where the air is coming into the engine. It's completely flat on the bottom there. There's no taper to it whatsoever. So I gotta think you get a lot of reversion off of that, but I really don't know. Someone else knows, feel free to comment. But for now, we'll stick it up here, and we'll probably not be keeping that. Well, while it did not go as planned, it did not go as unexpected. I suspected there'd be a slurry of nastiness in there. I gotta say, I'm impressed with this Target Master motor. It's got the right oil pan for two-sided dipstick, but it's also got these spreaders onto it to keep you from smushing up the oil pan. So, I like it. See if I can pry it off, or if I need to do something more reasonable. Oh, there we go. It comes right off. Here comes the moment of truth. And it is a 4-bolt main. Holy shit balls. Yeah, I feel like I gotta go give these guys some more money. Awesome. Let's get you guys in there closer. All right. Well, there it is. 4-bolt main, 350. What's she look like down in here? I'm not going to let the water and the oil scare me too much, because this thing was sitting outside under a cover. This water may not have been in the oil. Look, judging for the looks of things, it's recently mixed. That looks pretty nasty. I'm thinking there's some the water might have gotten down into the oil galleys while it was parked outdoors. This keeps getting better. Look how clean this cylinder head is. It's got a mismatched rocker arm on it. That's interesting. The rest of those have the little, you can see those little dimples in it. That's to keep it centered over the valve. You notice this one's a little offset, not quite centered over the valve. That one doesn't have them. That's one different rocker arm. So something might have happened there. But it's clean in there. Let's get this number. 393. No. Is that 893? Actually, that's 8932441. So I can run that number and see what these cylinder heads actually are. Okay, so those are 393, not 893. These heads are not the heads that would have come on that engine if you bought a long block replacement from the dealership. So those have been changed. I don't know if they were off the original vehicle or if somebody had just changed them later in life. You know, who knows? I got the engine, it wasn't in a car, so who knows where it's been or who's had it and who's had their little fingers in it. But they do seem to be pretty decent cylinder heads. They have a really nice chamber. They have a really nice intake port. They have 194 and 150 valves, which is good. A lot of your stock engines, especially in the smog years, would have had smaller valves. And it does have apparently a 75 or 76 cc chamber, which is kind of on the large side, but that doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing depending on what you do with the motor. So yeah, I think we did pretty good. We came up with some decent heads. You can see in the video there's a couple of mismatched rocker arms. Really looking forward to digging into this thing farther, but for now we'll just stick it in the corner and move on with our lives. to watch me clean the garage floor, do you? I'll be back. Alright, it's high time we talk about this front suspension. Okay, so now that we know we got a couple of decent engines to work with, that makes it a little easier for me to make a decision on whether or not we're going to V8 swap that S10. Still looking for input from you guys on that, what you guys would like to see, because this is as much your truck at this point as it is mine. So, yeah, let me know what you think of that down there in the comments. And I'll go into that more in detail later. But, yeah, we're going to get on that S10 in the next video. We'll get you that front suspension update. Let you know what's going on with that and what issues we're still dealing with, as well as some pretty interesting things that happened getting to this point with the front suspension. We had a couple of part issues that I was not expecting and never encountered before. So I'll share that with you guys in the next one. So stay tuned. Come on back in a couple days. That should be done. I'm going to start working on it here later this evening. I got some stuff I got to get done today, but then I will get back on it. And please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Especially let me know what you guys want to see on that S10. And yeah, be good. We'll see you on the next one.